Things have been super busy at work, and I haven't had a whole lot of time to build much. But with a weekend free, I decided to try and make some quick terrain, some scattered terrain, something I could easily build in a few days and put on just about any board, something versatile. With that being said, I started making rubble piles and piles of timbers. I started by cutting out some thick card and gluing on little mounds of aluminum foil. This would be for the bricks and the rubble. Then I hot glued all that together and gave everything a quick spray paint of brown. That's what I had on hand, and I wanted to make sure that the bricks, when they got laid on top, you didn't see the aluminum foil underneath. Having built terrain for a few years now, I literally have a can just full of random bricks. I dumped those out, got a little tray of glue, and then just proceeded to glob on thick layers of glue and squish bricks on top of it with absolutely no thought of how they would be laid out or any real pattern or idea of what to do or how they would look. I was kind of hoping that by just randomly throwing it on there, it would look more natural, like a real pile of bricks, rather than laying them all neatly and orderly on top of the aluminum foil. I'd like to thank the band Aya for the use of their music in all of my videos. This song is Cabezas de Tormenta. It's off their new live album. Check it out on Bandcamp. With the glue still wet, I dropped on a few pebbles and then sprinkled on sand just to cover up any of the aluminum foil and the cardboard underneath. Once that had dried, I spritzed on icy purple alcohol and then poured on watered down PVA glue. Once that dried, it locked everything in and nothing came falling off in the middle of the game session. Then a brown wash and a black wash. I tried to blend these together just so they looked real dirty and unkempt. Next came a dry brush. You put paint on the brush, you knock most of it off on a paper towel, and then you go over the whole thing and hit the highlights, get those edges to really pop and shine. And after that, we're done with the rubble parts and ready to move on to part 2. I took a scrap of XPS foam and I cut it a couple of ways, sliced it down until I had 9 rectangular pieces, long rectangular pieces. Once I had those pieces, I took out my gnarly wire brush and went up and down each side. Even though some of this you won't see because it'll be at the bottom, I still did the whole thing. Don't really know why. And here's where I kind of made a mistake. I had these cardboard pieces and I was going to glue them all down, but I ended up trimming the edges to where you couldn't see them, and then eventually just tore the cardboard off completely. It was much easier and looked much better without the cardboard. I'm going to glue everything down and paint it and dry brush it, but I gotta squeeze in a quick story. Hey, Kyle Rogman. Yes, John Thiefington? It would be so much easier to do our crimes and get through the city if it weren't for all this rubble and timbers in the way. You are right. Let's remove them. That was by far the stupidest story I've ever written. And keep in mind, I've written a story about an old well. At this point, I've Mod Podged the timbers, I painted them, I dry brushed them. These things are ready to go. I'll let the music play as we go to the glamour shots. Thanks for liking, subscribing, and especially for commenting.